Hello and welcome to EcoElsa. On today's episode, we'll be going over 6 methods to help you better manage your fears when teaching outdoors. Coming right up. As adults, we'd like the kids in our life to think that we're invincible, that there's nothing that really scares us outdoors, whether or not that's actually true. I know it's not true for me. We're going to go over some methods today to help you better manage your fears when outdoors with your kids or outdoors teaching. That way you can have a fun time with your kids outside and still enjoy nature and the experiences that come with it. All of the experiences. Method number 1 is just keeping your cool. I know a lot of us, the very first reaction when we see a spider or a snake or something scary is to just want to freak out, like to scream or to run around or to jump on a log or something, like get your feet off the ground, there's a mouse. But we can't do this because a lot of the times kids will learn their fears from the adults around them. They'll actually learn to be afraid of snakes or spiders because of their parents or their teachers. So if you don't want the kids around you to grow up being afraid of spiders just because you are afraid of spiders, it's good to remember to just keep your cool when there's something that scares you a little bit. Put your brave face on and face that teeny tiny little adorable spider. Method number 2 is being honest with your kids that you are afraid of spiders or you're afraid of snakes, whatever it may be, so that they know not to bring them into your bubble. Now, depending on your students, this may or may not work. I hope you have a great, wonderful, empathetic, considerate bunch of students who will listen to your words that you are not afraid, that you are afraid of snakes or spiders, and they won't bring them into your comfort bubble. But chances are there's at least going to be one student who are a little bit of a stinker, and they'll think it's funny to bring a snake up and put it in your face or a spider because they want to see your reaction, or they enjoy seeing your reaction. It happens. So this method may or may not work the best for you. You know your students better than I do, so feel them out to see what will work best for you and your group. However, method number 3 might be able to help you with this without having to tell your students what it is you're afraid of. Method number 3 is teaching the golden rule with your students. You might already use this in your classroom or some version of it. The version we're going to be using today is treat others how they would like to be treated. Because I know a lot of you might have learned it, treat others how you would like to be treated, but let's think about this for a second. I'm not afraid of snakes or spiders. I don't mind them being shoved up in front of my face. Do it. I don't care. I'll think it's cute and I'll pet it. Now, I'm guessing there's a good chance since you're watching this video that might not be how you feel about snakes or spiders. So would you really want me to shove a snake up in front of your face because I don't mind a snake being shoved up in front of my face? I'm guessing probably not. So that's why we want to emphasize the golden rule of treating others how they would like to be treated. A nice way of doing this is having a bubble rule. Everyone in your class has a bubble, and if before someone enters that bubble with a slug or a snake or a spider, whatever it may be, they have to ask permission to enter the bubble. If someone says no, then they can't enter their bubble. This applies to you as the teacher. This way you can tell your students that not what you are exactly afraid of, but just, hey, no critters in my bubble. I don't want them in my bubble, they stay out of my bubble. Method number 4 is actually teaching empathy to your students. If you want to show your students that you're not afraid of something, but you really are, a great way of doing this is teaching the students empathy. Even if you're honest with them and you do tell them you're afraid of something, by teaching them empathy for these different creepy crawly critters, you'll be able to teach them how to respect the critters, respect you the teacher. It's all connected. How this works is you talk with your students like the snakes and spiders are actual living things and not just creepy crawlies out to torment you. That they have needs, food, water, shelter, that they have families, because a lot of them do have babies running all over this place, and you teach them that they do feel pain. They have a nervous system. So we don't want to be walking around squishing every spider or snake we see just because we don't like it. It's not nice. We wouldn't want the snake or spider doing it to us. So a good way of handling your fear in front of the students in a respectful way is teaching the students empathy at the very least for these creepy crawlies running around. I know it's hard to develop actual warm fuzzy feelings for them. It's a lot easier for things like koalas and panda bears, but We gotta try at least a little bit because they're a part of this world and we want them to continue being a part of this world. Because spiders eat a lot of mosquitoes and snakes eat a lot of mice. If you don't like either of these things, you should like snakes and spiders. Method number 5 for managing your fear outdoors when it comes to creepy crawly little critters is having actual assigned critter carriers, or whatever cool name you come up with. Now how this works is before each outdoor class, you assign a few students who aren't afraid of snakes and spiders, who've been being responsible, respectful, and having a good week, to be your official critter carriers. And what they will do is they will pick up any unwanted spiders or snakes and gently move them over to a location that is better suited for them and out of your way or away from you, the teacher. What's also nice about this is if you do want to use snakes or spiders as teaching tools, if your students, you want to actually show them what they look like and how they act and behave, a great thing about this is you can have your official critter carriers picking up the spider and bringing it around to the group and showing them what it looks like. Nice and gently like this. Now, depending on where you live, this may or may not be a good idea because there might be some venomous snakes and spiders running all over the place. So you're going to have to know your habitat and the animals that live in it and be comfortable with what you have your students picking up and make some rules depending on this. Or maybe just not have official critter carriers. It's just a suggestion. Do it with what you like. And our final method, number 6, for managing your fear outdoors has to do more with anxiety and worrying. A lot of times we get so nervous taking students outdoors that we start to worry about every little thing that goes wrong, and we're like, get off that tree, you're gonna die, and put that stick down, it's dangerous. You don't want to be doing this. You're freaking out, you're scaring the children. Knock it off. Need to relax. So there's 2 ways actually we're going to be going over for managing this fear, this kind of fear that builds up. One is just deep breaths. Just breathe, relax a little bit, chill out. You're stressing yourself out for no reason. The student is a foot off the ground on that tree. They're not going anywhere. They're fine. Another way of managing fear induced from too much worrying is actually sitting down and thinking about or writing out all the things that could go wrong. And then what you do is you write down or you think about all the ways that you have, you can prevent these things from going wrong, all the ways that you've prepared for these things from going wrong. You have your phone, you have your first aid kit, you're all stacked up with mosquito spray and whatnot, you're ready. And then what you would actually do in that scenario. Chances are once you start to think about it logically, all these different things, it's going to go a lot better than you actually possibly could imagine. It's not going to go as wrong. And if it does, you'll be comfortable. You know what's going to happen. You know what you're going to do to manage it so that the worst case scenario isn't actually what happens. Think about it for a second. What would be your worst case scenario in the habitat I'm in right now? Well, there's a lake behind me. So worst case scenario is a kid falls in. Now, I checked this lake a little bit and it's a very slow incline. So if a kid falls in, all they're going to do is get wet. I've picked a good location for us to do water aquatic type studies with students. Now, if you thought about this ahead of time, then you've prepared. You have some change of clothes back in the classroom, some dry clothes, so that whatever student falls in, they're not going to be miserable all day. They'll have some dry clothes to change into. Or you ask the parents ahead of time to send some dry clothes with their students that day because you're doing a pond study. And if a student does fall in, you don't want them sitting in their wet clothes all day. Unfortunately, that is all we have time for today. Please comment below or tweet me at ElsaLatecki your strategies that you would use for managing your fear when taking kids outdoors. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to learn from you and become better as an educator by learning from you. So please share your strategies. If you liked this video, please click the subscribe button below and make sure to ring that little bell button. That way you can be notified the second my videos go up on YouTube to help you continue to take your kids outdoors. As always, I hope you have an amazing week. You be safe, learn lots, have fun, and get your kids outdoors. Bye!